Further adventures in exploring Autodesk Revit for architecture. Today we'll be looking at making a ceiling grid, a floor, and also to extend our building up to the 5th floor. Let's get started. This is part of our 4-part project, and we are working now on number 3, the floor and ceiling grid for the apartment number 1. We're going to open up our file, which is from the publisher, and we'll let that load up. And once it converts the 23 file over to 2024 Revit, we get this nicely displayed model that looks a lot like what you have just previously finished. Let's go. We're going to hide some of these elements. We don't need a lot of them showing, so we're going to go to our visibility graphics tool, the view tab, and visibility graphics. This is a pretty good tool. It just takes a little guidance to go around it, but you can see here's everything I can turn off. And what I didn't notice, and doesn't show up so clearly, that there's actually tabs, and my screen somehow kind of bleaches them out so I don't see them. But let's turn off things that we can find. And those would be the door tags are off. We didn't have any dimensions. Okay, and then make sure that our grids, that would be annotation, categories, all the extra stuff is in annotation. Grids are off. I applied everything. I said, okay, and now I have a nice blank screen. I could go pick this one out too, but that's not going to cause a problem for me. So let's go ahead and create the floor. We're going to go to architecture. You can see that door, windows, component columns. Here's the roof, ceiling. Let me extend out my Revit so the bigger icons. There, that's better. More room. When I shrink this down, all these get condensed. So let's put in a floor. Okay, and the book advises that we're going to go to extend to core of the wall. Extend to core is chosen. I'm going to go ahead and pick clockwise manner. Usually makes less of a mistake. I have a choice. If I messed up, I would put X, but since it looks good here, I'll go ahead and say I'll accept it. And now we notice that the floor is delineated with this blue marker. And now I'm going to go ahead and choose the generic floor. It's not going to be as thick. And the book wants lightweight concrete on metal deck. So it's a pretty thin but very durable roof. So we've chosen that. And now you can see the stipple that indicates that that material has been placed. Now let's place the ceiling. So we'll click on the ceiling tool. I'll pull up I always have my floating properties palette. We're going to go 8'6", give it a little height. So we'll be able to change the ceiling to this compound ceiling, GWB on metal stud. And as soon as I find my marker, I will choose it. And now when I put my cursor over the rooms, ceiling grids are based on independent rooms and they're structured as such. So it's going to be, I'll choose one. And we're getting a mistake. Okay, we have our mistake. And that was just a professor demonstrating for you how this is a common mistake. I don't want first floor plan. I want first floor ceiling plan. You can't get anything done. Now let's try it. Now let's go to have our ceiling plan in. We're going to drop in our ceiling. We still have that. And okay, so it's remembering what I did last. Okay, so already I have problems. I'll leave the problems in the video because you'll run across these quite often. So I have some duplicates in there, and Autodesk is good about warning me. I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna check and see how things are going with this section model. Get out of this and go to my section. Okay, now is this the ceiling grid? So in my section, I can kind of tell what things are because I can click on things. I can say that's the basic wall. And now I have my ceiling grid, and it is the recommended 8 foot 6 inches up. It's pretty thick, but it is not a floor. The floor will go in here. So I've done very good considering all the mistakes. Let's go back to the ceiling grid. So I've snapped into my 3D mode. That's the house up at the top, or the house that occurs here. And this is your standard mode, but this will help me to see what I've done. And if I click on that and get a handle on it, there. Compound ceiling grid is floating right before the next story. So we did get there. Let's go and add some floor plates. Professor, why did I wait so long? This looks pretty easy. Yes, that part is pretty easy. Now I'm looking at my book on 736, and I'm just noticing the book is showing two side lights. So maybe I'll come back and pick those up, but I don't remember any request to put in these side lights. So we'll go ahead and add that. Okay, what's next? So we are going to number 3. We did the floor and ceiling, no problem. Now we're going to have the fun of furniture. The fun of furniture is more about picking and choosing and placing. So let's go back to our Revit drawing. And I don't want to place my furniture on the ceiling grid, so I'm going to turn on, at least shorten up the ceiling plan so I don't get that confusion with first floor and first floor. We're just going to get rid of that. So let's not get rid of it, but close it. Let's go to the first floor. And now we need to add furniture. And it's quite a collection of furniture. And where to get the parts? We're going to go to Insert. We're going to load Autodesk Family. We're going to raid whatever parts that we can find in the Load Autodesk Family. Let's look at furniture. And I'm not going to choose all of them. That will be part of your fun. But I'll do the ones I like. I like the Corbu chair. That's a favorite. This is actually by a famous architect, and some of these are too. So you can decorate this apartment as you like. I like this chair too. This is a Mies van der Rohe chair. Looks like I can get more than one at one time. Let's go to beds. And let's do a standard bed. Let's shake it up. Shake it up with the shaker bed. Then we're going to load that. Okay, when I load things here, they're going to come out and floor plan. Let's go to show up when I click back to architecture and I click components. Then the things that I've chosen will show up here and their different properties. And I should get a list at the bottom that will show me the most recent loads that I have. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, so the recent loads all come in here. Where's my Corbu chair? My passages. I even got, somehow the trees already came in. Okay, so I just have to hunt for it and start placing, but we'll place the bed. Where's the bedroom? So I need to go back to the original source of picture 9.3. Let's jump back there and see where all the furniture goes. Like I said, your guide drawing usually helps you discern this because it's not going to clearly tell you where everything goes. You're going to have to decipher it. So you'll go ahead and get the bathrooms and the kitchen are the most important, and then lay out as you wish to include the list of things for this particular chapter. Once you've done your furniture, you will at last arrive at the end of the apartment. You're going to make this tall structure, and this is where the work comes in. Okay, we are going to switch to 3D view. We're going to hold the shift down and we're going to make that tab key. I've selected all my walls. I need to increase the wall height. So I'm going to go to the top constraint right now. It's up to second level. I'm going to take that all the way to the roof. And voila, we see that the roof is there. We see our floor plate. We see our ceiling grid. From here, the ceiling grid looks kind of high or something with the first floor. It's a little off, but we'll continue on. We're going to once again select everything. Okay, and I went from left to right to just getting things in the boundary. But this time I will use the shift key to remove the walls because I don't want to duplicate those. So everything in here has been selected and we're going to go to the modify multi-select and I'm going to just copy everything. Let's go to copy to clipboard. Then I want to paste them to these upper levels. So I'm going to use the tool here called Align to Selected Levels. Okay, I'm copying from the clipboard. I'll hold down my control key and see what it tells me to do to select second. Let's get rid of the first floor. We're going second floor, control key, third floor, and fourth floor. And I'm skipping the roof. I had trouble doing that earlier. So the control key helped. And now it's thinking about it, and it has created the other floors with an accidental extra, and I think that's because this first floor was too high. Let me just hand clean this up. Now, I had to change a few things to alignment for the sake of this assignment, but I'd have to go back and check where the discrepancy is, why things didn't line up, but I just put them down for now. So I can show you how to put on the roof. I've switched over to the roof view and I'm going to add the roof under architecture. I'm going to go roof and we don't need a slope on this one and I will extend to the core and I start doing that. There's my magenta line and I will say complete, yes. And then, okay, so then overlap and let's see how I did. Not good. Well, good for the roof though. The roof is in, but now I have walls protruding. So I'm gonna have to go back, figure out what went wrong, realign these. For the sake of the video, I will just do them quickly, but I would have to see what's happening with that interior wall. And there you have it with a few errors and bumbles, but we made it through. I hope this helps.